This is an RNZ podcast.
Bonjour mes amis, je m'appelle Ben Strang. I'm the host of RNZ's Paris Essentials podcast. It was a mixed day for New Zealand at the Paris Olympics. We had the good news, which is that we have two flag bearers. They had a ceremony to decide to anoint the flag bearers for the opening ceremony tomorrow. So we have Joe Aleh and we have Aaron Gate. So a sailor and a track cyclist, and two very good chances at earning medals for New Zealand. So that's very exciting. The less exciting part of the day was that another couple of chances at medals, well, they're either not going to happen or they're very unlikely. The New Zealand Sevens team knocked out of the Sevens. They have no chance now of winning a medal. A shock loss to South Africa, to be quite frank, in the quarterfinals. And the football ferns, they went down to those pesky, cheating Canadians. It was like the Canadians knew exactly what they were going to do. Who would have thought? We'll also hear on the podcast today from Sun Lulu. We've been calling her Lulu Sun, but we got a pronunciation guide from her today, so that's fantastic. We hear from her ahead of the tennis tournament. And also Nathan Rarere, we hear from him for the first time in Paris. He got a tour of New Zealand House, so we hear all about that. But let's start with the good news. We don't want to hear about all the bad news first, so let's get into these flag bearers. Track cyclist Aaron Gate and sailor Joe Aleh, they've been named as New Zealand's flag bearers for the Paris Olympics for the opening ceremony. So the opening ceremony, that starts at 5:30 a.m. New Zealand time on Saturday. They will be, it's such an honour for these two to have, been given this. They will be carrying the flag, taking turns. I guess, they're on boats going down the River Seine and then into the stadium. So quite an honour for them. Joe Aleh, she is a two-time Olympic medalist. She won gold at the 2012 London Games and then silver 4 years later in Rio. Here she is talking to Nathan Rarere at New Zealand House.
It is my real pleasure to name the second of our two flag bearers, Tupu Hapai Wahine, for the Paris 2024 Games, and she is Joe Aleh.
So Joe, I had a look first alphabetically in the team.
Oh, am I?
And now you're going to be first on the boat.
First
How about that?
Alphabetically. First.
Yeah.
Oh, that's good, eh?
Pretty cool.
I'm probably one of the first by Olympic number as well.
Yeah.
I'm my athlete number 992. I'm in the, under 1,000. Probably not many of us left.
Now, like your competition's happening outside of Paris, so how cool is it to get in and just get to mix with the rest of the team?
Yeah, it's a bit of a whirlwind, to be honest. I was on my boat training 7 hours ago. So it was straight from the venue to a train to get up here. And just actually crazy to see, really cool to see a bunch of Kiwis.
Yeah.
Because we're a lot more isolated down there in Marseille. We've got our core team, but not like this. And yeah, amazing to actually be in Paris and to do the opening is something I actually didn't think I would get to do this time. So really excited.
Oh, that's great. And also too, pretty cool for yachting that you guys have got a flag bearer.
Yeah, to be honest, when I was asked, I was a little hesitant just because, we start racing on Sunday.
Yeah.
So it's a really tight run. But, it's such a privilege. And even to be able to represent, I think, sailing as a sport, as a flag bearer was a big part of my decision why I really wanted to do it. So I'm super proud to follow in the footsteps of some pretty amazing people.
We were actually talking about the irony, you're on a boat. With the flag.
The ceremony.
I
feel like it's quite fitting, really.
Are you going to get annoyed at them not going faster?
Yeah, I've heard the barges are quite slow, but, it's good. It means when I get back to my boat in Marseille, I'll be quite happy to go fast again.
So what do you know about your responsibilities? Like, how long do you have to hold the flag for there, and about how long does it take?
I have no idea. I have a time that I have to turn up tomorrow. And I know there'll be a flag, and me and Aaron can take turns, hopefully. No one wants to get sore arms. He doesn't really use his arms, so he can probably hold it for longer, actually.
I was thinking too, so before we saw a beautiful moment, you've got this gorgeous kakahu on, and then you get a haka at you. And as you know, this kakahu says that people think you've got enough mana to wear it, and then when you get a haka towards you, that's because you're special, but that was all for you. What's that feel like?
Oh, I get goosebumps again every time someone mentions it at the moment because I've been asked it a few times, but it's incredible. I think there's nothing there's nothing quite like it. It makes me so proud to be a New Zealander and to have this amazing bunch of people here behind me, and I mean, a lot of these athletes will be competing soon, and even for them to come tonight is amazing.
Yeah. But it's about you too, and you've just done it again and talked about the team. For you as well, because it is big, and it's, to feel that.
Yeah, I guess it's not something I'm really used to talking about. Deflect. No, for me, I'm just super proud and just humbled and honoured to be standing up here. And I think the next 2 days are going to be a whirlwind. Then I have to go racing.
Yeah, exactly. And like you said, I mean, you're obviously feeling really proud for yourself. Are there other people in your life that are way through that you'll be thinking that will be looking on really proudly as well?
Oh, I mean, the people who help you get to this point, it's such a long list. I mean, my parents, obviously, when I was 9 years old, and I said, I really want to go sailing. And I knew to talk to my dad, obviously, because Mum just said, that sounds expensive, which was correct.
Yeah.
But my dad's like, why not? But I mean, my parents have supported me all the way through, and they made everything possible. I think every athlete would have the same story. But there's so many people, along my path. I have a lot of extended fun now because, I come from quite a small family in New Zealand.
Yeah.
So I have a lot of people that I call family. And I know they were watching tonight, so really proud to stand up here for them as well.
Hey, congratulations on first off being an Olympian, then a gold medalist, now this, and congratulations on it all. I hope the Games goes really well for you.
Thank you.
Cheers.
Yes, how good is that? And now her fellow flag bearer, he couldn't be there, Aaron Gate. He was in Switzerland preparing himself for his cycling events. He'll be travelling there, I guess today, before the opening ceremony starts. He spoke to Ingrid Hipkiss about the honour, and she started by asking him how he got the news.
It was a call out of the blue from Nigel Avery, our chef de mission, and he presented me with this opportunity, and I was sort of a bit taken back. It didn't really seemed a bit surreal at the time, and still kind of does now, to be honest. So it's definitely not something I'm taking lightly, but we'll definitely relish the opportunity to lead our team into this Olympics.
Yeah, it's pretty incredible, isn't it? Are you nervous?
I wouldn't say nervous. I mean, I hope I don't screw anything up, of course. I think, it's a pretty special opportunity and a cool one for my team and I to have that with cycling, and it's just the whole Games is always exciting, and this kind of feels like the icing on the cake before we even get underway. So we've been training hard, and the main goal is still firmly to go there to try and win, and the ball rolling, I think.
How is the feeling in the team there? What's it like being there?
I'm yet to arrive in the village. We're still just sort of in holding camp out in Switzerland at the moment with the cycling squad. I jump on the train tomorrow morning and shoot across to Paris, and looking forward to getting there and joining some of the wider team tomorrow for the big opening ceremony, and it'd be nice to see some familiar faces and meet some new ones, and then get stuck back into training before we compete in the last week Games.
And personally, how is your preparation going?
Yeah, so far great, thanks. Training really well. We just cracked out our final team pursuit training session on the track here in Switzerland today, and did our best ever time that we've done in training so far. So that's always a good sign, and a few things to tweak here and there to go even faster come race day. So we have to, we're putting our best foot forward, and just kind of have to see what our competitors do in the meantime.
What do you know about the conditions in Paris at the moment?
We're familiar with the track, at least. We have raced on it before, but with track cycling, our times and everything are a little bit dependent on atmospheric conditions in terms of air pressure and everything, which we won't know until nearer the time. But we're predicting fast times come the Games for sure.
Great, and you must be looking forward to that whole New Zealand team being together in the village.
Yeah, it's awesome. Really looking forward to it, and it's, like I said already, an opportunity I'm not taking lightly, and hopefully I can do New Zealand proud as I together with Joe lead the team into the Olympic Games tomorrow.
So when you found out, did you call your parents? How did you share that news?
We had to keep it pretty under wraps. I didn't tell Mum and Dad because didn't want it doing the rounds too quickly. Sorry, Mum, but she can't be trusted with secrets sometimes. So of course, I told my wife, and yeah, and then just had to discuss it with my close teammates to, make a bit of a plan, because it was a slight change of schedule with getting in there. Had to change our training days around a little bit, because we weren't scheduled to arrive in Paris until next Tuesday, so I had to do some shuffling, but definitely wasn't an opportunity I couldn't say no to.
Yeah, there you go. That is Aaron Gate, and you can just hear how big an honour it is for both of these. Nathan said to us afterwards that when he was talking to Jo Aleh, she was almost tearing up. It means so much. That was in the aftermath of the ceremony and all of that, so very cool for these two to get that honour, and very cool for the Olympic chef de mission, Nigel Avery, who got to call these people, tell them that they had this incredible honour. Dana Johansson talked to him and asked if this moment makes it feel like the Olympics are finally really happening.
Well, it certainly does. For me, this is one of the real moments for the team. The announcement of the flag bearer. Because obviously it leads into the opening ceremony, and then we're away, although we are away already, clearly. But yeah, it was moving, and it's something that a lot of nations look to us and go, wow, that's so awesome. How can we get that? Well, they can't. And so we have to really embrace it, and the team is building a real momentum in the respect that gives our bicultural, monarchy, our performance culture, and it's been really noticeable in the welcomes we've been doing. The teams that were kind of on the peripheral in Tokyo are just all in, and it's wonderful. It's been uniting for them. It's been incredible.
And can you tell us a little bit about the process in selecting the flag bearers? How do you whittle it down? How do you make that decision?
Well, you could be like Lotto, right? Because we got 195 amazing Kiwis. They're all incredible, but I guess you can only have two. And so, we look at a lot of people, but we've decided that Aaron and Jo are going to represent us with, real mana and pride. They've clearly, it's not their first rodeo, so they've been there and done that. And you don't put it on your to-do list or my goal. My goal is to be flag bearer. It just doesn't happen like that. And so they were both just so blown away when I spoke with them. They're just very humble people, and obviously, they feel very, very proud to have been asked. And it's a big deal, so, Jo's competing on the 28th, and so, she had to discuss with Molly and Harvey to make sure that she was going to be okay, and clearly also Aaron with his teammates, and so they're fully supportive. And so we actually told both track cycling and sailing before tonight, because it would have been a bit odd, well, what does Aaron need to be over there, and why is Jo going to Paris? And so that was kind of special, actually, because they had a chance to really celebrate with their team. Yeah, so it was very, very cool.
Yeah, I would imagine it'd be one of the cool parts about your job is getting to make calls like that.
Well, I just feel so privileged, and so that is definitely one of the cool parts.
And moving on to the big day tomorrow, the opening ceremony, do you know at this point how many athletes plan to, I was going to say march, but float down the river?
It's a bit of a moving feast. We've been given like 118 passes. That's our quota to go. And so of the people who potentially could go, I think we'll go close to filling that. And it's going to be a mix of support team and athletes. So unknown number at this stage.
And what have you been told to expect about the event in terms of logistics? How long will you be on the water? How long will it take to get there? Because I'd imagine it's going to be pretty difficult to get around with the city locked down. It
will. So we'll be getting an individualised itinerary just for New Zealand. There'll be some specific times on there. But basically the assemble periods between sort of 4 and 6 to then get down to the embarkation points, which will then depart from 7 till 9, and then you walk to the Trocadero, although there's an early exit option, which I'd imagine most athletes will take, because if you choose to stay, you'll be essentially getting back in the village about 2 o'clock. So if you are the first to leave, let's say 4 and 2, so that's probably the maximum time. So we don't anticipate too many athletes staying that long.
An important question, have you had a chance to check out the barge, and is it seaworthy?
I don't know if we've got much choice but I'd imagine it will be seaworthy. So the French, they're really throwing everything at this, and so they don't want to be embarrassed like any nation wouldn't. But I think it'll be fine. There's a life jacket for everybody. There's food and water. There's convenience places on the so it's going to be fun. But like all opening ceremonies, it is quite an arduous journey to take. But the barge, they've got seats, so that'll be quite cool. Be a nice little River Seine cruise.
There we go. That's Dana Johansson talking to the New Zealand team chef de mission, Nigel Avery. That was all done at New Zealand House, which is at the Marriott on the Champs-Élysées. Very, very fancy place for New Zealand House to be. Nathan Rarere, he managed to get a tour of the house with the person who's running the show, Sharon Van Gerlich. Have a listen to this.
Okay, well, here we are in beautiful New Zealand House. What a location.
Yeah, it's a fabulous location, isn't it? We found it a couple of years ago when we were scoping out various hotels for some of our dignitaries and our guests, our special guests, and we found a couple of spaces out the back of the hotel, and we said to the general manager, "Gosh, have you ever thought of using these for events?" And they said, "Well, no," and it's come from there. So we've effectively taken over the rear terrace and courtyard of the Marriott Champs-Élysées.
Well, I mean, this is my first day here, and I had great fun navigating the bus and the metro, and it's gorgeous. You come out and I thought, oh, I'm finally at this place, and then I look and there's our New Zealand flag here, so it was good. It was easy to find.
Oh, great. Well, it's on the Champs, and everybody knows where the Champs-Élysées is.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
Okay, so why don't we'll take people for a tour here. This is beautiful.
Yeah, so this Wahoroa has been designed by our team Mātua, Tā Derek Lardeli,
yes.
And he's known to many in New Zealand, of course, for his work. He also created our team Haka,
yeah.
and supports and leads our culture. So it's a beautiful design, which is based on Po Tangata, which is the story, the story of the team. It's how we put our athletes at the top, the tiko,
mm-hmm.
and we stand as Po and support them in their house.
Yeah.
So this is Po Tangata. This is the whare of Po Tangata, where people can come and experience the team and share in New Zealand manaakitanga,
mm-hmm.
Be welcome and hosted as guests of the New Zealand team.
Yeah, well, I mean, there's a bit of noise here because we're in the hotel and there's people in and out, so should we go for a walk?
Let's
and have
go,
a look?
let's do that.
All right,
yeah.
let's do that.
Yeah.
Ticketing, accommodation, so there's information here people can come get as well.
Yeah, there's a whole new digital ticketing system in the game, so we're finding people are needing a lot of help. So our really good partners at New Zealand Olympic Travel, they're here to support people with ticketing queries and accommodation queries, and we're just here to support them.
Yeah. So do you have to have tickets to come in?
No, unlike many country houses, ours is always free to open. That's who New Zealand is. We don't charge a fee to enter. We have a cafe and bar, and you can buy your own way, but we don't charge a ticket for entry. We talk about manaakitanga, so this is about hospitality and welcoming people to a New Zealand experience, so it's open to all.
Oh, beautiful. All right, well, let's go and see what they do. So we've come in, we've walked down this beautiful hallway in the Marriott, now we're going to head out into the courtyard. Oh, I've got the merch place.
Yeah, so this is the New Zealand team shop with our partners, our apparel partner Peak, and so this is where you can come and get some kit if you want to support the team. So there's some replica kit here to wear the same gear that some of our athletes do, and there's also just general supporters merch, pins and hats and lots of fun things if you want to have a little bit of New Zealand.
I mean, I can try the replica. Have you seen my guts? I'm not convincing anyone I was an athlete.
It's not necessarily made for ladies of my size and scale either. However, there is always something for everyone, and so I encourage people to come in and have a look, and it's a great way to show your support of the team. Yeah?
Well, that's great. Okay, so we'll move through here. And we've got screens around too. What's this one here for?
Well, we basically let people know as they arrive just what's on today. So today this is the first day that New Zealand is competing, so we're underway with men's football and men's sevens today. So as you walk in, you can always see what's going to be here. Through our fabulous partnership with Sky TV back in New Zealand, we've got a Sky New Zealand feed into the house.
Yes.
So when you're sitting here, you're watching it as if you were at home. So you're seeing New Zealanders all the time competing instead of the local feed, which would probably be featuring French. So the fabulous French team, who we love, but let's face it, we're here to watch our team, and we're here to beat them.
Yes,
yeah, absolutely. So it shows you what's on, and then you can come in here, and there's about 12 or so screens at various times that you can follow the team and watch them. If a New Zealander's competing, they'll be on the tally.
Yeah. Well, that one's giant over here, isn't it? It's this big one here.
Yeah. So we've got a couple of big screens. So on the upper terrace, we've got our first big LED screen, which is kind of cool. And then we've got 2 or 3 other supporting screens. So you can show different things at different times.
Yeah.
Because, there's always a bit of a competition what's on the main screen.
Yeah, well, everyone thinks their sport's the main one.
Indeed. So we can say, don't worry, there's another big screen over there for you. So that's great. So right now we're hearing the Rugby Sevens underway, which is great on the big screen.
With Ricky Swinnell of New Zealand commentating. That's good.
Fantastic. So you come here not to see New Zealand, but you hear New Zealand. It's an immersive New Zealand experience.
Oh, that's a familiar name, Villa Maria.
Yeah, so we're absolutely delighted to show off New Zealand wine, and we've got food as well, actually, with Alliance Meats and some stunning food later. So Villa Maria are our wine partner. So they're here and they've brought across their beautiful product, and the hotel has generously let us range their product in here. So you can enjoy Villa Maria wine, but there's also a couple of French wines as well, because we want to give a little bit of taste of the locals as well. And, the French are known for their wine. But I must say, they were blown away with our Sauvignon Blanc at the tasting the other night. So
it's brave to bring that in here, though.
I know, but let's be brave. That's what New Zealand is all about. We like showing off our product, and let's face it, our wine's one of the best in the world. The Sauvignon Blanc is the best in the world. So thanks to Villa Maria, we have it in the house.
Fantastic. So, and it looks like there's a whole lot of tables here.
Yeah.
People watching this already. I see a couple of former Sevens players for New Zealand. There one who would be in, but she's injured. So there's Sheree, so that's good.
That's good.
So they're here watching.
That's nice.
And then we've got handsome men.
Yeah, that's our beautiful staff,
handsome men.
all kitted out, ready to serve us.
Yes,
so we have a bar. We bar upstairs here on the terrace, and the terrace is kind of set up like a French cafe kind of style setup.
Yeah.
Lots of tables and chairs in the cafe style, and you can order yourself a glass of wine or a beer or Corona Zero. We have lots of Zero beer, which is sponsoring the Olympics, which is really responsible drinking.
Yeah.
And there's umbrellas for shade, which is really important to keep you out of the sun. But Kiwis love being outside, right? So the nice thing about this is we're outside. We're not stuck in the bowels of somewhere. No. We're out where people want to be in the open, and you can sit down, have a drink, have something to eat, and watch your team.
What do you do if it rains?
Well, we just jump under the umbrellas like
fair
everybody
enough.
does. Just like we do back home. We thought about the rain, but then I promised our head of events that it wouldn't rain during the games.
All right, I believe you.
Yeah, good.
I've seen your organisation. You can do it.
Absolutely, that's the plan.
So should we go downstairs?
Sure.
So there's 2 levels to this, which is quite gorgeous here. How fluent is your French?
Oh, not good.
No, me neither. No. I was trying.
I can go. Très bien, bien. No. Merci, merci à revoir. Bonjour, madame. Bonjour, monsieur.
Bonjour.
As long as you can say bonjour, madame, bonjour, monsieur, merci au revoir, I think you're okay.
I'm okay, yeah.
So we've just landed on the courtyard. So this is a fabulous space, actually. So this used to be, believe it or not, the entry back in the olden days when the hotel was built for the carriages to come through the back of the hotel, and then they would park up in these carriage parks.
Yes, they are.
I know it looks like that. So
how old is this place?
Oh, it must be well over a couple of 100 years old. Wow. Clearly, it's beautiful. It's original. It's gorgeous. So the fabulous hotel, we initially had these cobblestones down, and we thought, it'll be a bit uneven, but we'll make do. And lo and behold, they decided when they knew we were going to be down here, they've covered it with this beautiful kind of ceramic tiles, and they've created a whole new lounge space for us under the trees as well. So they've done a lot of work for us, and so we've been able to come in now and set this up. This is our big screen viewing zone down here, and we expect this to be absolutely chocker a lot of the time. And this is where we will also have all our end of sport and medal celebrations when we win those wonderful medals that we know we will.
So about how many people do you expect come through every day? I mean, it's always a guess, right?
Yeah, well, we think we've got capacity for about 350-ish, maybe more. The hotel are asking us to start about there. I don't know, they've had so many, it's like it's 20 days of it really, isn't it? But we're expecting about 350, but we think during the day we could have up to 1,000 people who go through each day.
Wow.
So sometimes it'll be 400 or 500, sometimes it might be as many as 1,000. But we're open from 11 in the morning to 11 at night. So in 12 hours, you'd expect a lot of people to come and go. But we think at any one time, probably 350 comfortably, and let's see how we go. If everybody's happy, we'll take more if we can.
That's a lot of guests every day. It's a long time. So how many people do you have in the team?
Oh, it's a really small team. Kiwis, we do things on a budget, respectively. Our money goes into our team, but we have a small kind of core operating team of about 10 of us here, and we have this extraordinary group of volunteers. So we reached out and we had about 300 people put their hands up, and we interviewed them all, our team, and we've chosen 75 volunteers to support the team. So in addition to the 10 staff, we've got about 75 volunteers rotating through the 3 weeks. It'll be great.
So for people listening that have gone, this is great, either I'm going to Paris or I know people that are there and I didn't know this existed. How's the best way to find this?
Well, it's easy. You just come to the Marriott Champs-Élysées, 70 on the Champs-Élysées, or you can find us, there's a Facebook page, New Zealand House Paris, or you go onto the New Zealand Team app and download it, and if you check that or our website, it will take you to New Zealand House, and you can find out what's on every day.
So there you go. They've got the New Zealand wines, they've got the New Zealand meats. It sounds delightful. A real home away from home for the people who are over in France. Unfortunately, though, it wasn't all good news for Kiwis today at the Olympics. Of course, the New Zealand Sevens team, as we mentioned earlier, they were defeated 14-7 by South Africa. Knocked out of the Sevens tournament at the quarter-final stage. They were one of the favourites. I think they were top seed, New Zealand. Also, not a great day for the football ferns. They were beaten 2-1 from Canada. Come from behind victory for Canada. And like I said earlier, it seemed like they just knew exactly what the football ferns were going to do. Less said about that, still fuming. Anyway, Barry Guy was at the Sevens today. He talked to their captain, Dylan Collier.
Yeah, extremely difficult, mate. Thought we started really well the tournament and we're building through our games, and yeah, we just weren't good enough tonight, so definitely had our chances to still win, but yeah, we just couldn't execute when it quite counted.
Yesterday every pass was sticking and some of those tries were phenomenal, and tonight nothing stuck. What do you kind of put that down to?
Yes, it's just footy sometimes. Like when the pressure's on, it obviously puts your skills under a bit more pressure, but I think they started really well and went to D for some long periods of play, and then yeah, we just couldn't hold the ball, kept turning it over, and yeah, we just couldn't quite execute under that pressure, man. I mean, they defended really well, they scrambled really well. We made some half breaks and they made us make the extra pass, and yeah, we just couldn't quite stick our offloads and couldn't quite get over the line there.
Have you had a chance to talk to the team now? You hadn't obviously in the mix zone before, but what about now? Have you had a word with them?
Yeah, just briefly, man. Like, there's definitely a lot of hurt in that change room, but you know, we still got obviously a day off tomorrow to sort of let that soak in, and then we've got 2 games on the last day, so yeah, still got to show up and perform, and we're in the black jersey, so we've still got to go out there and give it our best there.
Do you think you'll be replaying a bit of that stuff that happened in that game through your head tonight when you're trying to sleep?
What was that, sorry?
Do you think you'll be replaying some of the stuff that happened in that game tonight when you're trying to sleep?
Yeah, most definitely, mate. Yeah, it was definitely a tough one, but you know, I'm actually just looking forward to getting back to the village and calling my kids, because it will definitely take my mind off it, and you know, they're still getting up and going to school, and you know, they still love me for being a dad, and so I'm actually kind of looking forward to that, to get my mind off it.
All right, there's the bad news out of the way. Let's look forward now. The opening ceremony is at 5:30 a.m. tomorrow, and it lasts until about 9 a.m. That's New Zealand time. Then on Sunday morning, New Zealand time, we get a bunch of our athletes getting underway in their sports. One of those is the tennis. We have Erin Routliffe and Sun Lolo in the tennis. You remember her as Lulu Sun. We've been calling her in the past, and she's given us a little guide on how to actually say her name. So there you go, Sun Lolo, for those who wanted to get it right. Tennis, of course, at Roland Garros. Sun Lolo, talk to us about what it'll be like being an Olympian.
I mean, it's crazy to think that I'm, first of all, an Olympian, but the tournament hasn't even started, and it's just so crazy, you know, seeing the village, seeing all these athletes. It's really, really insane. But I think the Olympics is so special, and it's something, you know, that's the reason why it's every 4 years, because it's not, you know, you can't go to it, you know, every time. So I think it's such a unique tournament, and that's why, you know, some athletes are like, this is more special than sometimes a Grand Slam even, because you can't get by it so easily, you know, and it bends, you know, sometimes you don't get selected, and some players never, you know, get selected, or sometimes it doesn't happen, and so to be able to participate in this is something so special, and I will, you know, do my best with Erin and give it all.
How is the new partnership with Erin going?
Oh, it's so fun. She's so easygoing, and she's really funny, and I think I'm learning a lot from her, and it's just it's super fun on court.
And it is a bit of a different experience than like when you're on tour, you're normally by yourself. But because Aaron's normally in double, she's probably used to having somebody around.
Yeah.
How's that kind of dynamic going?
Yeah, I mean, when I'm playing doubles, when I do play doubles, it's super fun because I get to I have someone on court with me, and you can, when you're not doing so well, let's say in a point or two, then your partner goes, oh, you kind of have a conversation about what you can do or not, and it kind of eases you up on like how you think, I think. And I don't know, like for me, doubles is really fun, but also like I'm not bad in doubles, so I've got practice from university and some practice also in the pros, and obviously Aaron is number one, so I think she's a pretty good partner. So yeah, I'm learning a lot from her, and it's going to be exciting.
And there you go, that is Sun Lulu talking to our reporter in Paris, Felicity Reid. Let's finish the podcast today. Back on those naughty, cheating Canadians. This isn't the first time they've done it. They have a record. Back in 2007, they did almost the same thing to the Wheel Blacks. This morning on Morning Report, Corin Dan talked to Jai Waite, a Paralympic gold medalist and former Wheel Black, about exactly what happened back in 2007.
Well, I have to admit I've been scratching my head over this drone spying, but it appears they've got some form.
Yeah, who knew? They seem like such nice people, right?
Exactly.
Yeah. Look, for us, we were in a Paralympic qualification time at that point in 2007 as well. So what was up for grabs was ranking and position for the Paralympics. And they saw an opportunity and they took it.
So what did they do in your instance, exactly?
Look, we were playing a tournament, and it was like an Oceania qualifier, Asia-Oceania. And the Canadians aren't actually part of it. And we invited them down just for really just experience for them so they could, get some game time. Their ranking really wasn't on the line, so nothing was going to affect them where they finished in the tournament. And then we played them in the round robin and really gave them a hiding. And I think they panicked. And the night before we played them in the semi-final, they went through our stuff, and one of my teammates, they got managed to get rid of some of his gear. And for me, on my chair, they went through and measured every part of it. And through the course of the tournament, my chair had been kind of smashed out of alignment, and my pick bar, which is the bit at the front which stops people, had been knocked into an illegal position, which we'd been kind of fixing over the days, but obviously it happened again, and they held it back until we played, and then they protested my chair as we came out. So halfway through the game, sorry.
Right, so did you get pulled off, and did they have to measure it?
I did. So then, and normally in the context of a tournament, this doesn't happen. Normally it was everything's measured at the start of the tournament, everything's ticked off. But they went into our gear. We have zone places where you're not allowed to go. They went into it after hours and went through it, measured it up, and decided that they were going to use that as a
amazing. I mean, Jai, I guess what we're dealing with here is just a reminder that for some sports people and some countries, some cultures, North Americans, American sport is ferociously competitive. I mean, we think ourselves as competitive. I know, I'm sure you are, but just how seriously people take this.
Well, look, we try to put our own head on it and think, would we have done the same thing? And I think, as Kiwis, we probably would have just, before the game, pointed out, look, we think that's not quite right. You should get that checked out, and not really, go the underhanded way. But, we're actually producing a documentary at the moment, exactly where this comes out from a cut, which comes out on Sky and Neon pretty soon. And all this is played out exactly how, underhanded and devious.
There you go. That is Jai Waite talking to Corin Dan about those pesky, cheating, naughty Canadians. We wait and see if they'll have their points docked for this tournament. Surely they'll have their points docked. Thank you very much for listening to today's episode of Paris Essentials. I will be back tomorrow for another episode. We're dropping them tous les jours every day at 11 a.m. It'll all be about the opening ceremony tomorrow, so hopefully that goes well. Until then, make sure that you follow and listen to this podcast wherever you get your podcasts. Au revoir, à demain.